All right, then, for our main topic, we are talking about John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. And full spoilers from here on out if you have not seen this film, or indeed any of the John Wick films. Probably
do it.
Check those out
you
before
fools.
before you listen to this.
Spoilers for all John Wick films.
Have I not expressed how great these movies are yet? Do it.
And so, yeah, spoilers from here on out. So let's get into initial thoughts. Ryan, what did you think about this one? The third in the John Wick franchise.
Loved it. That's all.
All right, enough of the review. We're going now.
I guess that's it. Yeah.
Sparkz, what did you think?
No, I'm super into it. Had a great time. This was my first John Wick film in theaters.
Yeah. This I've seen all of them in theaters. And I'm...
Well, aren't you cool?
Me too.
I am.
Me too.
I don't... Now, obviously, echo what you guys said. It's great. But to just get into it, I don't think it's as good as the first two.
Yeah, I can agree with everything we've already talked about.
Which we will get into.
For me, this is the quintessential American action franchise after this one. And the story stuff doesn't... Each movie has like some story stuff, but like this one's definitely the worst, has the worst aspects. While still, I think this one has the best action out of all of them, and it's just insane. It's truly insane what we do.
I'm gonna throw a wrench into that. I don't think it has the. I think the first film was very good. The second film I think is my favorite.
Second's also my favorite.
I love the second film. I think it's got a good balance of action and story. It's got great action sequences that are really inventive and fun and things we've never seen before. In this film, we're still pushing it. We still got some good action, but I don't think a lot of the action is as inventive. And certainly, I don't think this film is as well paced as the first two.
For me, the first film's my favorite.
Yeah,
100%.
Care to elaborate on why?
I think for me, the personal stakes are clear, and they have me with him the entire time.
Yeah.
Whereas when I watch the second and third one, there's just and it comes up more in like the random dudes, but there's just less of a victory in watching them be killed. Whereas in John Wick 1, I feel like every death you're kind of like. It's a fist pump of like not just because it's good action, but get that guy, that guy too. These guys are all the bad guys.
Nearly as many, so it's a little more personal.
Yeah. Whereas in
remember Willem Dafoe was in that movie.
Yeah.
Forget
hell yeah.
Whereas when you go to like John Wick 2, John Wick 3, it feels a lot more like all right, but there's also like a lot of dudes who like they're good action scene fodder, but like I'm not stoked with every single take, and John Wick, it just had me in it every single moment for the first one.
Yeah, I get that.
And 2 and 3, like a little bit less so.
Yeah, so this film sees John Wick directly after, much like the second film. We're catching up with John Wick directly after the events of the last film. We are still within his hour time limit that Winston gave him from the second film, and
crazy couple weeks.
Yeah. Well, they say it's only been like a week.
It had to be a little bit more time because John Wick has a second dog in John Wick 2.
Yeah, but he gets the dog after he gets the dog from John Wick 1. He steals it from the guy he killed.
Right.
So
I mean, like he there's some time. It's not a lot because he recovers that part of his house and all that stuff, and he gets a little resettled, and then everything goes wrong.
Yeah, I think in this film they say it's only been like.
I thought they said a couple weeks.
I think they said a couple weeks.
No, she says a week.
No,
just this past week alone, he killed someone for a dog and a car.
No,
that's different.
No. Just this last week is when he went against the people at the head of the table. That's what they said. But like it was a couple of weeks ago that he started this because of a puppy.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I don't want to get too much into it, but
I don't think all of this happened in a week.
Agitator says to the sushi guy, I forgot the bald-headed guy. Just this past week alone, he says, "I know a dog and a car." And I think that's what we're led to believe is it's only been a week, and I could buy that. These films take place right after the other. I could buy it's only been like 7 days.
All right, it's not worth arguing about.
Anyway, he's excommunicado, $14 million bounty.
I think the first 30 minutes of this film is incredible.
I think the first almost hour is incredible.
I think there's a lot of this film in the beginning, specifically the fight in the library. That's really fun and really cool. He kills the guy with a book.
Ernest. The 8 foot tall basketball player, I think.
Sparkz, you said he was a basketball player who
is a basketball player.
Dunk without moving.
Yeah, he can dunk through a hoop without leaving the ground.
He's like Andre the Giant's son. Oh my god!
I know. It reminded me of.
He can
Andre
just
the
reach
Giant.
up and do it.
Jesus. So
just like real quick, just like the dude's so big, he's just literally palming John Wick's face just to keep him away like a child.
he says shush and then slams him into a bunch of bookshelves.
Yeah. The opening fight's like, but I know what we're getting into. All right, baby, this is great. Yeah.
Then once he's excommunicado, he a bunch of people fight him in like a knife. In like an antique shop or something.
Yeah, it's like a knife museum.
Yeah.
Perfect place to have a fight.
I love they just keep breaking glasses, they're throwing knives at each other.
Dude gets like 8 knives thrown into him.
It's so
ridiculous.
Good. It's so good. And then he kills a guy with a horse. He kills 2 guys with a horse.
Slaps that ass, makes him kick. Yeah.
So good. Such great action. And that's what I talk about like that's why I like about
I think
the
that's
second
probably
film.
the best action time of the whole film.
Yeah, I think so too. Because we're moving. It's moving. It's inventive. It's different. We haven't seen this before, and it's paced very well.
Yeah,
which is probably what I meant by I said it moving. Just gonna reinforce that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But once we get to, and we still get the world. We get his origins a little bit, like where he came from.
He's a gypsy boy.
He's an orphan.
Guys, you remember his original name?
No.
Jadania Jovanovic.
Jadani Jovanovic.
Jadani Jovanovic.
I'm looking right at
there
it.
you go.
Okay. So that's his original name. What I like about these films, and Ryan, as you said, we always get little nuggets, little bit more of the world.
Yeah, they don't throw way too much at you. It's always like here's small nuggets to create the whole platter. Yeah.
And probably by the end of this franchise, we'll have a very good picture of the world. But
especially with that TV show coming out.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, the Continental TV series. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
The comic was a prequel, and it was fine.
Greg Pak did that.
Yeah, didn't reveal too much.
It's kind of the problem with like the Spider-Man comic we didn't talk about, but like the idea is that what can you do?
Yeah,
really, you can't do anything.
A sequel is still just going to be a small side story.
Yeah,
you can't do a true sequel in the comic form for a video game
unless
that
the movie is not coming.
Yeah,
you can't do anything.
John Wick 4 is definitely probably coming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the money it's made. Oh boy.
Well, let's talk about. I think this film more so than the first two, because I think the first two have a beginning, middle, and end. They move. There's the momentum to the story. They have stakes. Whereas this one feels like, well, there is momentum. The momentum is to get to 4.
I do agree it is set up, but the other two weren't set up. So like, if this is what we had to get to the overall bigger narrative, I still think this movie like works for the most part.
Sure,
I do agree it's set up.
Yeah, and I think that's what takes it down a notch. Now, spoiler alert.
Yeah,
we're all going to give it a high score. I'm assuming.
And again, I agree. Especially like what the stuff they do with Winston, I think is super interesting. And like if they pay that off in 4 with him being like a potential bad guy, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Winston, since you went there, Winston betrays John Wick at the end of this film.
Yeah, it's
really rough because we like Winston. We've followed Winston for 3 films now.
Yeah, and we love Ian McShane.
And he betrays him. And Ryan and I speculated that perhaps he's making a play to be the leader of the high table, the elder.
Yeah, he's going to get John to do the dirty work for him.
Yeah.
And then he just like winds out on top. Because sneaky snake.
Lawrence Fishburne is alive at the end of this film. He was presumed dead earlier.
So we're kind of jumping ahead. So there's this character called the Adjudicator, and she represents the
Adjudicator.
high table. Sorry, Adjudicator. It's a crazy word.
It is excommunicado, consecrated.
Played by Asia Kate Dillon, who's non-binary, and started in Billions on Showtime.
A TV show, yeah.
Yeah.
John's excommunicado, and it's his journey to kill everyone, and then he doesn't want to be excommunicado anymore, so he has to go to the desert.
He has to go to the desert to find. He wants to go to the desert to find the elder.
To be found
by the elder, who we're led to believe is the one above all. Is that he runs the high table?
He started this guild of assassins, or is the leader of this guild of assassins.
I don't think started, because I think we're led to believe it's a lot more ancient than this 20-year-old man.
Yeah, he's at least 25. So he goes to like the leader. And he's like, "Okay, John, you're pretty dope, and we would like for you to kill it for us. So like, give us your finger and give me your wife's ring."
Surely there are better ways to take off a ring.
That's exactly what the thing was for, to get your hand stabbed, and then the blood filled in the circle. It's pretty cool.
Oh, is that what that was?
It was like filling in like a design.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was a little confused. It was like, why did he need to remove the finger?
To show your loyalty, man. I also think he wanted the ring to like, oh, you want to remember your wife? I'm gonna
Just
remember
take
it.
off the ring.
Nah, you gotta cut that finger.
Gotta
off.
cut the finger off.
Yeah,
Lawrence Fishburne has a funny line. Oh, damn, they took your finger.
Yeah.
I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
Lord Fishburne is a quirky, crazy guy. He runs the homeless,
Bowery.
the Bowery, which is just like the interconnected homeless society,
Yeah.
which is still super
And
a
a bunch
neat
of
idea.
pigeons.
And a bunch of pigeons.
The entertainment super flyway.
Oh, that was such a good idea. It's like, this is my internet. Like,
Yeah.
no IP address. You can't trace me. Like,
Can't hack me.
Can't hack me.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty
Jason
smart.
Mantzoukas as the TikTok man.
Man, I know that guy. He wrote what's the Ice Cube Kevin gig Ride Along?
Yeah,
He wrote the movie
Ride
Ride
Along.
Along, and he got super rich off that, and now he just does whatever he wants. So he does How Does This Get Made, the podcast.
Yeah.
And I know him from listening to him on a podcast talking about movies.
He had a guest stint on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there you go. It's just funny to see this guy who's a comedian just be this crazy homeless
And
guy.
you know what? Going back to like the second one, what I love so much about the second one, in this one, in the first couple minutes, the first 30 minutes, first hour, whatever you want to say, there are people, and it's not everyone, but there are people that when he walks by will turn and look at him,
Yeah.
as they're doing a thing.
Everyone's an assassin.
And it's the people like singing outside of the library. They're watching him, and then this crazy homeless man just takes out this really nice watch. He goes, "TikTok, Mr. Wick."
TikTok.
I love the just like don't dilly dally.
I love again the world building. That's why I love this franchise so much, because it's like they don't throw it in your face. You just have to like discover it as it comes along. And like there's like so many assassins in the world, and it's so nuts to think that there's this entire like it's not like Harry Potter where it's like, oh, it's like kids with magic. No, it's a bunch of murderers living like in society. It's like it's spooky. It's
Harry
spooky.
Potter for murderers.
I
There
like
you
the
go.
doctor.
Yeah, me too.
Who's
The key master
who's
from The
like,
Matrix.
You got 5 minutes, and it's like, okay.
It's like, okay, fine. Wait, they'll never believe I stopped. Shoot me here, right here.
Yeah, the doctor gets shot twice because he needs to make sure like, oh, I really want to help you, John Wick, but I don't want to die. So
Yeah.
can you shoot me?
I think people like John Wick.
John Wick's a nice guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's murdered a lot of
He's a
people.
murderer, but he's an honorable man.
I think the cinematography in these last two films specifically are beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
way they use lighting in these films are
and
great.
mirrors and reflections. Like I didn't think they could top. Or I don't know if they did top the mirror reflection scene in the second.
I don't
one.
think they did.
But they definitely tried some cool shit with it.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, you guys just really like mirrors and reflections.
Yeah, and I was talking the idea, and we'll talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about it right now. There are two action sequences. I'm sorry, I'm trying
okay.
to go through all this.
Go on.
There are two action sequences that I think go a little too long, and one of them is the final action sequence in the Continental.
A little bit.
I think one of the things I like in that sequence, and I didn't expect this to happen, are the character moments in between. Like John running into the vault and be like, "I need more ammo." The armor piercing. Like, what the hell?
It's the first time the concierge has been given a name. His name's Pierrot.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
he's a character.
he takes care of the dog.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. And then he
Um,
starts shooting fools. Like,
And then another character moment I like is when he's fighting the Asian guys up there, and they're like, "We're big fans, Mr.
oh my
Wick."
god, those are the guys from the Raid movies. Oh my god, they're
Big fans.
yeah, they're super fans. And I keep forgetting American Ninja Warrior, not American Ninja Warrior.
Iron Chef.
Iron Chef of America is in this movie, and every time I see him, I lose my mind because he's just a super fan of John Wick.
Yeah.
And he's dying, and he's like, "Oh, that's a pretty good fight, John, wasn't it?"
yeah. That was a good fight, right, John?
Like that.
I'll just
stuff
go.
is-
I'll catch up. I'll catch my breath.
No, you won't.
yeah.
Yeah, the ninja super fans were probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah,
I
we
love
get-
them.
This movie did a lot of good like showing you somewhere, and then all of a sudden a dude pops out
Yeah.
with
Oh,
its ninja stuff.
so
rather,
many
than it,
ninjas.
rather than it feeling like ninjas, they just come out of places. It was
Yeah.
like no, we hit them, and then you see them.
Lots of shadows.
when they're attacking the ballet.
Yeah.
That sequence is real cool.
Every
Yeah.
time they did that, because they did that to multiple places, like the ninjas just show up and start wrecking shop, and you're like, oh man, these guys are serious.
Yeah.
The whole ballet section. Yeah, a lot of this movie does give you the reasons to hate the high table.
Yes. Yeah.
And I bet there are gonna be a bunch of famous people in that next movie.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
I know it might be distracting, but I love stunt casting.
Yeah.
Which is why when I was talking about the Elder, I was like, I want you stunt cast the Elder.
Yeah.
Like, give me a name to be like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this guy's in this
See,
movie.
I think Angelica Houston was kind of stunt casting, and then also
Sure.
having Braun was stunt
Yeah,
casting.
Jerome Flynn.
Yeah, Jerome
See,
Flynn.
I'm cool with like that kind of thing. To be honest with you, I don't need it to be like big names. Something on the level of honestly Common,
Yeah.
who I missed in this movie.
Yeah,
Me too.
I've
Me
never
too.
said that before
But-
in my life. I miss
right,
Common.
right.
He
But-
was really
but-
fun in the last last movie.
That's the thing is like getting random like weird Iron Chef of America, like get him in here.
Yeah.
Jerome Flynn, who comes from Game of Thrones, he's the I forget his name, but he's the boss of Halle Berry's character.
He was the owner of the Continental, and then
in Casablanca.
Now he makes the coins or
Yeah.
whatever
Right.
his job is.
So that's him, and he's awesome. And just having him for that moment was really fun. So I think actors like that,
Yeah.
that level is still, people who are like they're kind of recognizable, but they can throw their weight around.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't need Liam Neeson
No,
to
definitely
be somebody but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a degree to like, oh yeah, that's awesome, but I don't want like Harrison Ford showing up in this
Yeah.
or something like that. And I don't mean like specifically those people. I don't need those big names.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what.
Like if we get to the high table and every single person there is like A-lister,
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Sure.
Yeah. 'Cause Keanu's worked a lot of stunt people, and he's directed a couple of his own movies.
Yo,
What?
sorry, go
Go
on.
ahead.
What if the high table is Tom Cruise?
Oh shit. I thought you were gonna say Hugo Weaving.
No.
I thought you were gonna say
Why would
Hugo
it be
Weaving.
Tom Cruise?
Stunts.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Stunts. That's why.
the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I was like, why not Hugo Weaving?
It could be honestly. I'll when I see
Because
it.
this isn't the Matrix again.
Hey, we got Lawrence Fishburne
I know we have Lawrence Fishburne. This isn't the Matrix
in a
again.
role he's clearly having fun in.
God.
I don't even. I
Lawrence
just know
Fishburne, can
I'll
we-
love it when I'll see it.
MVP.
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne is having a blast.
Yeah. I
in
will
this
say, Halle Berry. I haven't seen her
Yes.
be this good or
Uh-huh.
have fun in
A long time.
ever.
Yeah,
Like,
a long
time.
It's been a while.
Like, I loved Halle Berry in this
No,
movie.
this definitely made me go, oh, I want Halle Berry in movies again, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want Halle Berry in like roles that she's passionate about again.
Yeah.
Fun
Like-
fact: she trained with those dogs for 6 months, and those dogs were actually vicious. And in an interview with Stephen Colbert, Keanu Reeves said, "I was not supposed to look those dogs in the eye. That's what the dog trainer told me because they were truly vicious and they only responded to Halle and all of her commands.
Jeez.
So those dogs were actually vicious, and Halle had like actual command over all those dogs. In all those scenes, she's actually yelling and doing all the dog stuff.
That's really awesome.
It's really cool.
I like the bit where she shoots the guy and he's just like, he shot my dog. It's kind of like, I get it.
No, yeah, I get it.
yeah.
There's a lot of nut shots.
That's yeah.
There are a lot of moments where either Keanu or those dogs
Yeah.
are going for the balls.
Yeah. The dogs I get because like that's like when you're gonna attack a dude.
But talk about like like I said, a little bit repetitive. Okay, we shoot a guy, dog goes for the
Yeah.
balls. Shoot a guy, dog goes for the balls.
No, that's not fair. The dogs didn't go for the balls that often. They did go for like the legs and drag them and
Yeah.
things like that, or wherever they got, they
grabbed
kept on it.
Sure.
The
They grabbed
hands
them.
that were holding
Yeah,
guns,
yeah.
they bit
They
those
would
like,
take
that was
those.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like nuts, like that happened 3 times. Let's not go crazy.
I'm using that as an example to say that
No,
especially
I
the
know.
bit in Morocco, the Casablanca sequence. I feel like could have been. I wish it was less repetitive. Maybe not. Like keep it long, but give me some variety. Give me some more variety. It just feels like we're getting to a point where it's like, okay, I've seen this before. Can we do something else?
I will agree, like, because like after seeing, because like there are like the cool action scenes, like the knife fights or stuff like that. But there are when it's just dudes like shooting each other. Like we've seen John Wick and John Wick 2. Like there is a lot of that. So I can't agree in specific instances. It is a lot. But it's still shot so well, and it still looks better than every other action movie I've made. That like it's
think
hard for me to like go like, oh, it's more of.
I mean,
this.
I don't want.
This
I don't wanna
this
say
kind
it
of goes
doesn't
back,
look good.
but
No,
this
of course.
kind of goes back to like what I was saying, like why John Wick 1 is so good to me is that at a certain point in Casablanca, they're just like killing dudes who I don't see their faces and I don't care.
Yes.
And so at a certain point, I'm like, this is going a little long.
Yeah.
And this is the first movie where I really felt that, where I went, this has been happening for a while. I'm ready to move on to the next beat.
I'll even agree with that. Yeah.
And that's a matter of like, I think if you are going to have action scenes that long, you've got to have like a reason to be rooting against the guys. Like even through that Casablanca scene, for example, have like one of the other dudes or even Jerome Flynn who had shot at the dog be somebody they're chasing down.
Yeah.
So you're rooting for that person to get caught even in the midst of all the action. But there was no like target focus to be like, but we got to get that guy because man, F that guy.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any of that character connection.
I actually don't really have a huge problem with the Continental fight because I think it's so funny and interesting that like they're all super armored. So John's just wasting dozens of shots not killing anyone. And he has to come back and like, I need more firepower, baby. I need armor piercing rounds.
That actually didn't bother me at all. I felt like some of the ninja stuff went
Yeah.
before the last two dudes before Iron Chef.
I will say it did
that
feel
went
like
a
a
little
video
long.
game sequence. Like, wow, this level's taking a really long time.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
agree with that.
No, I won't. I don't think when he's fighting the high table people, I think we get a little. It's just a tad long.
Yeah.
The primary instance is what Sparkz said. Is the ninja stuff that is like,
It's the
let's
it's
keep
the dudes
this-
before the two dudes who do have character
Yeah.
beats because I'm invested in that fight because they had character beats.
Yeah.
But then there's like those three before that, and I'm like, all right, but like I know there's still some
Yeah,
other
you
dudes. Like
cut
this is
them-
going a while.
Yeah.
If you cut them out and just make it the two
Or
fans,
cut them shorter.
Yeah,
You don't need to cut them out because I thought like kicking him through every glass pane thing
Was
Yeah.
was
terrible
great. And like
awesome,
those
yeah.
when those two dudes are killed, like when he slams the blade against the glass and then shoves the guy against the other guy's blade to slit his throat.
Yeah.
That's really great.
That's a cool one.
It just went a little long.
Yeah. The armor piercing rounds was cool, especially when they start getting like the shotguns. But again,
Brutal.
you just you just kind of get to a point where it is starting to feel repetitive. And look, it's a action franchise that has now have 3 movies. You are going to see the similar beats.
But
And
there's a reason why I say like, oh, I kind of miss Common. Common, I cared when he was fighting John Wick, and I think that if you are going to keep some of these longer fight scenes, you need to have someone in it that even those two dudes who were like we're fans, there's some kind of character relation
And
to
it's
it.
funny because like the Raid movies have specifically like really extended long fight sequences. So you could have cut out a couple guys and just made their fight much longer and be like a really emotional, like we're fighting our hero John Wick.
Sure.
Just make that scene longer and cut out the other side. I'm like,
Right.
that would have been more. that would've been better.
Yeah, and
more
that's
invested then.
that's
Yeah.
really where John Wick 3 ever loses me. Is
Yeah.
just like it's a few too many bodies that
It's
mean
excessive,
nothing to me.
which is a weird thing to say when like the franchise is about him killing lots of people, but
Yeah,
at
yeah.
times it does feel a little excessive.
Yeah, because like he can kill lots of people, but I need to feel like I'm
reason for
I'm
it.
feeling something for not like sympathy or anything, but like I'm feeling something for the
I
fact that
feel
he is defeating
yeah.
these
I
dudes
feel like
instead
the
of just like
first 30 guys.
these are fodder men.
Yeah, I feel the first 30 guys, but then it's like once we get like 60, and I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
And going back to the second one, like I do feel like there are stakes in the second one. He is forced back in by this guy who blows up his house, and
Yeah.
now he wants revenge because he's now lost everything.
Yeah.
That was related to his wife.
And the shootout at like the rave, like after his sister kills herself,
Yeah.
that's still like in the
Yes.
undergrounds.
Uh-huh.
It's still like the coolest thing in John Wick. I
And
think.
Right.
even when they're in the crowded place and they're just shooting at each other,
Yeah.
Common and him are just shooting at each other from the balcony. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a lot of fun. There are
Yeah.
character beats. You have a character like Common
Yeah.
who you like and are interested in.
yeah.
I think I want to say.
That's a weird sentence to say about Common.
I know. I've never been so positive. I want to say
It's not a common phrase.
Oh,
that
Jesus.
they're setting this up to be like a big like confrontation between Winston and whoever the high table is. So I want to say
I wholeheartedly believe that the next film is the Continental versus the High Table
Yeah.
with John Wick in the middle.
yeah, I think that sounds really cool. And hopefully
Well, I don't think right off the bat because High Table and Continental are on the same
No,
side.
but I think that's what Ian McShane is playing at.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But John Wick's coming for him right now.
Oh yeah, he is.
yeah, it's gonna be really interesting, and I hope it is more personal. And like I don't want to say like I want to see less people die, but like just make me care about it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Game of Thrones. I don't know. I said that. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just filling space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. If Ian McShane's only ploy is that, all right, I betrayed John Wick and now I get to run the Continental, and he didn't expect John Wick to do anything past that point, then I feel like he's uncharacteristically dumb in
Yeah.
comparison to previous outings and most
yeah.
of the film up to that point, because either that's a bad move or you should have shot him in the head. Like just having him go over the building isn't good enough, and you should know that.
I think he's playing a con.
That'd be nice.
I think the filmmakers and the writers are smart enough to know like Winston's not stupid. I think so.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
The Adjudicator is another example of like kind of putting in that I know they're non-binary, but putting in that same kind of role as Ruby Rose in the second one, where I feel like you are not handling these kind of characters very well.
You have a cool
You're not giving
character.
them enough to do.
They're underutilized.
Yes.
Yeah. Because like she's supposed to be, and like I personally I didn't always feel the intimidation that I was supposed to feel.
Right.
Because like also like I didn't expect her to be like an action star or anything, but like
Sure.
for her to be that powerful, I need you to show me that.
Right.
Like she didn't do anything besides just talk in the movie, and I'm like, this is an action movie. I need a little something.
Yeah,
for me.
I do need more, especially after the way I felt Ruby Rose was poorly used.
Yeah.
In the second film.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I like the first film. I just don't have any things like that in the second film.
The first one's so tight,
yeah,
super tight.
Yeah, the first film was very tight.
Yep.
I just think that I don't like how stylized the second one is.
I do too. I think it's like the perfect sequel, as in like doing what you need to do for a sequel to move it forward and not being too big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing else.
No,
honestly.
I mean, this is like one of the weirdest. Like I don't love it, but I love it just because like
I find the Elder underwhelming and strange.
I don't at all.
Yes, I do too. Can you elaborate? Maybe help me figure out why I feel that way.
I don't know what he gains being out in the desert like that.
Here's what I was thinking. I'm very ignorant on geography, right? But where's that? Do you know where that's supposed to be? Do we know?
Well, he's in the Moroccan desert.
Okay, so somewhere. Okay, so the Assassins organization, whatever's been going around for hundreds of thousands of years.
Sure,
probably,
sure.
Right, wherever that's where it started.
Yeah,
and that's just like where they never expanded out.
I think it's weird to have this. I just like you were saying about the adjudicator. I felt no real impression of gravitas from him as a person.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the actor for that either.
Yeah.
I think that's a writing thing.
I think he's
and just
framed
presentation.
interestingly.
And he's supposed to be the guy above the high table. We haven't even seen all of the high table yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not even impressed by him.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
When I saw him, and the first and second time I saw him, I'm like, oh, is that it? Oh, okay.
Which makes me think, almost like in a Snook way, like he's actually not supposed to be that important. He's just like for the movie, like they make it seem like it's a big thing. It's like it's
Right, but
whatever.
if they frame the high table as it,
Yeah.
and then he's above the high table,
Yeah,
like
it's
that
weird.
he should be framed.
That's what I mean. Is like
Yeah.
I'm not like so anti it, but it definitely didn't. It felt weird.
No, I
Yeah.
see what you're seeing.
It does.
I see what
It
you
does. That's why I said in the car
Yeah.
coming back, I kind of wish there was an actor with more gravitas.
Yeah.
But perhaps what I wanted is the film to.
But I don't
create
even
the
I don't even
atmosphere.
think it's the actor's fault. I think that the writing of it itself just has this feeling of like I feel like we've met more imposing, important figures,
Honestly,
and you're supposed to be the highest of the high.
when the
Yeah.
agitator, adjudicator,
Adjudicator.
when they come in, I felt that more than I felt the elder.
And even then, that was still not quite as much as you want it to be. So that's why I'm like, if this is the dude above the high table who we haven't even met, I'm not super impressed.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if like again, this is something like they might be setting up at the sequel, but like he's almost like the queen, where it's just like it's like a royal leader,
Which is fine with me.
yeah.
It's
With
just
the other the
but-
table's actually the important
which is
ones.
great, but again, like that's something that we'll find out in a later film. In this film alone, it feels lackluster.
No, I agree. I'm curious.
That's the thing, that goes to what I was talking about. It feels a little underwhelming that this film was just set up for 4.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel that way in 2.
Yeah.
Like whenever we met someone, there was gravitas and there was weight and that was the story that 2 was telling. Now 4 feels like prelude to 3 feels like prelude to 4.
Yeah.
And if we are meeting this elder to be better in the 4th one, I kind of wish we had gotten that now.
yeah,
Sure.
I could see that. Yeah,
If that makes any sense.
No, it
I
does
kinda
make
lost
sense.
track of the
No,
sentence.
I'm with you.
I did like that this film plays off on the fact that John had a marker too, because he had one out on him and he had one out on Hallie.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good.
I did like the idea that like you can't shoot the bearer of your marker.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like
Yeah.
that too.
And like Halle Berry gives like a really like powerful scene of like my
About what he did for her daughter.
yeah, like so I bet John killed a bunch of people and got her daughter out of there.
he put her daughter somewhere.
Yeah.
He is the only person who knows where she is the implication I
Yeah.
got.
and
I got
then
that
she
same-
says love will get you killed.
Yeah.
That's so true. I'm like, man,
I really like that.
yeah. Halle Berry's really good.
She's really good in this. I
Yeah,
like her
she
a
was
lot.
fantastic.
She's got an Oscar.
She looks.
We need more movies.
Yeah, she looks.
You
great.
can't kill the
Yeah.
bearer of your marker. I didn't kill you. I shot you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and even when she starts to take it out, I was like, "Don't you dare!
Yeah.
Don't you dare do that!"
Yeah.
I
Don't
pull out the marker,
I
yeah.
love how they play that.
hmm
Yeah, all the character stuff, like I was pretty on board with, like all like the little characters. I do wish we had more, like a comment or just a couple more. I could have honestly used more of the silly ninja guys. Like I thought he was not the character I was expecting. Like the second he turned into Phil Coulson super fan, like oh Captain America, I have your trading cards. I'm like oh John Wick, I love you so much. I can't wait to battle you. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
How much time do you think passes between this and the next one?
Oh,
I feel like it's got to be like at least a
He
week.
fell off a building.
He's got to recover.
He's got to recover from falling off
He
a
has
building.
not recovered for a while
Yeah.
from some serious injuries.
3 movies of nonsense have happened to this
And
guy.
well, there's at least a break between the end of 1 and the beginning
Yeah.
of 2.
Yeah.
When he gets approached by Santino.
Yeah.
But then after that, like he's had just terrible things happening
Yeah.
to him. So I feel like we're due him getting a little
Didn't
bit
he
of rest.
get hit by like 3 cars in like one scene?
Yes.
Like,
Two
Jesus.
cars, but
2
yeah.
cars?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he fell off a building. He deserves a little bit of a breath.
A little R&R?
break.
Yeah, a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah,
for John
I love Lawrence Fishburne's whole thing. Is like, are you pissed, John? Yeah,
because I'm pissed off.
yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne was the king of the pigeons. Now he's the king of the rats. That's a cool.
love him.
A cool reversal.
I love him so much.
I really like him a lot.
There's a John
Wick.
Wick video game coming out soon. It looks pretty cool. It's an indie game, but it's like a puzzle shooter.
I'm excited for that TV series.
Yeah, man.
I'm still on board with this franchise. I'm excited.
Oh yeah,
for more.
100%. Yeah.
All right, shall we give it a rating? Final thoughts and rate?
Yeah.
I went with Ryan before, so let's Sparkz.
I'm really into this John Wick franchise.
I'm glad.
I have I guess I have the most gripes of any of the films with this one, but
me too.
but that still doesn't take it into like bad film territory. It's just merely these things I wish were touched up a little better, and hopefully John Wick 4 will bring more. I definitely feel like this one, while the second one set up the third one quite a lot, this one definitely hangs a lot of the promise of its narrative on what the next one does. Whereas the second one kind of still works
This is
on
like-
its own,
Yeah.
and then leads into the events of another. This very much is like, like the payoff of all these things is still coming, and you feel
This
that.
isn't a Marvel movie. John Wick, what are you doing?
Yeah, but it does feel that way. So having to wait for that.
Yeah, what would you give it rating?
I still thought everything was really good. I was gonna say some positives. I still thought that everything was really good. The action's great. A lot of really fun character moments. A lot of great actors appearing in this in interesting places. Halle Berry, I think, is a shining star in the film. Really great to see her again. I hope they utilize her again in the future. I hope this actually kickstarts more for her career
Me too.
in
Yeah.
general. I really enjoyed it. I would give it a 9.
Oh wow, that's actually a lot higher than I expected.
Hell yeah.
Ryan.
Oh, it's me. Yeah, I love the John Wick franchise. It just speaks to me. Like, if I can make action movies, this is the type of action movie I would make. Like, it's so cinematically well done, and like when I think of like modern regular action movies, it's so framey and it's so messy, and I always know what's going on in John Wick, and that's why I appreciate it so much. This isn't my favorite John Wick, but I also still love it because it's John Wick. I also give it a 9. This is the worst of a trilogy, and it's a 9 out of 10. You can't say that with a lot of movies.
All right, I don't think I'd go a 9 because I would give 2 a 9, probably 1 a 9. Gun to my head. And I do think this is the worst of the 3, where I'm sitting right now. I echo everything you guys said, so it doesn't really make sense for me to repeat it all. I would probably give it an 8
That's still a good score.
on a different day. Like, for example, I saw it the other day. I wasn't as happy with it as I was the second time I saw it. I was leaning more to a 7. I think I'd probably give it an 8 at this point. Probably 7.5 given the day, but I'm good with an 8. 8 out of 10.
Good score.
All right, shall we get into our book club then?